What's up guys, I'm Kel, Red Zone Rogue, and welcome to my last Echoes of the New World spoiler video. That's right, this is the very last spoiler before the set finally comes out, and we're going to kick it off with Alice, Girl of the Blue Planet. And I'm just going to say right now, a lot of these cards are actually really powerful, and Alice is one of them. She is a 500/600 for 2 water. She has Will of Hope. She's a Wanderer. She has Flying. She has Seal 4. This card gains the following text as long as you control 4 or more magic stones. God's Art, Azure Bonds, 0. Name a non-magic stone card. As long as this card is in a field, players cannot play cards with that name. And there's a lot of stuff going on here, so let's break it down. 500/600 for 2 will that flies. Really, really good stats. That's a really good baseline. She has Will of Hope and is a Wanderer, so she can fit in multiple different type of decks. She can fit in Adalbert or the Book of Light. And she has this Seal 4, which can like use a God's Art. Remember, you can only use God's Art once per game. And basically, it just will lock out a card of your choice. If your opponent's playing something like, I don't know, Abdul or basically anything, you just name it and then they just can't play it. Well, actually, both players can't play it, so you got to make sure you name something that you're, comfortable living with not being able to play. But all in all, I think this card is a fantastic card. It will definitely see play. I love the Seal 4 mechanic. Seal 4 is pretty attainable, and if you're playing with the Dragon Shrine Maiden or Dragon Shrine Princess, Dragon Shrine Maiden, one of those two, if you're playing with her, then it's pretty easy to get that seal off. So yeah, I think this card's fantastic. I think it will see a lot of play. The art is fantastic as well. And yeah, let's just jump straight into her counterpart, Dark Alice, Manifestation of Rage. So she is a 500/500 for 2 darkness. She's also a Wanderer. She also has Will of Hope, which is a little strange. Doesn't have Will of Despair, but maybe, I don't know, she's on the good guy side now. And when this card enters your field, remove all resonators in your opponent's graveyard from the game. For each resonator removed this way, put a +100/+100 counter on this card. Right there, that's fantastic. 500/500 for 2, that's okay. And when she comes into play, she just nukes your opponent's graveyard. That's like a hard counter to like Reanimator type strategies, and basically pretty powerful late game card. And when this card leaves your field for a non-field zone, so if it's returned to your hand, if it dies, just basically if it leaves the field at all, put a 100/100 Darkness Shadow Resonator token into your field for each counter on this card. So if you had like 3 counters, you get 3 dudes. If you had more, you get more dudes. That's really cool. I love this card quite a bit. And then it says, release the seal abilities of darkness cards and spells you control. All in all, Dark Alice is another very powerful card. 500/500 for 2. Pretty good. Really good abilities. Pretty good. It all adds up to be a very powerful card. And I love the flavor text on it. It says, no more waiting. I'm finally going to do what I want. Let's go, Schrodinger. Massacre mode. And it says, meow. Yeah. This card's awesome. And the art is fantastic as well. She's gorgeous. So, yeah. You can't go wrong. Both of the Alices are really good. I'm not sure if this one will see as much play as the other one. The 500/600 with Flying seems pretty powerful just even on its own. But this one does seem pretty good. So, yeah, I like it. Next up, we have Kaguya, Love of the Moon. She's a 600/600 for a wind and a water. Once again, fantastic stats. A lot of these 2-drops have fantastic stats. This is not the last of the 2-drops. She is a Wanderer with Will of Hope. Once again, pretty good thing, synergizing with multiple rulers in the set. This card cannot be attacked. It's kind of like a thing that a lot of the Kaguya J rulers have. You can't attack her. And then she has Seal 10, which is ridiculous. But remember, we have multiple types of cards that can release the seal. And it says, this card gains +200/+200 and Flying. So it's an 800/800 with Flying for 2 will if you can release the seal. And it says, if you would draw a card, put a card from your graveyard into your hand instead. If a card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, or move it from the game instead. Even if you have no cards in your graveyard, you still do not draw cards. So this is really cool. It's really interesting as well. I also like how she has Tama. She's just like sitting there and she has a Tama, Familiar of the Holy Wind, just sitting on her lap. I think that's really cute. But let's actually talk about the card. So, good stats. Like just straight up fantastic stats. The cannot be attacked clause is okay. It's even better with Flying. So if it's 800/800 with Flying and it cannot be attacked, if your opponent doesn't have any Flying resonators, they're gonna have a really hard time dealing with this other than like straight up removal. The other ability is a little weird. It seems like a very powerful late game mechanic which would make sense for the Seal 10, which would also mean that cheating the Seal cost, like releasing it with like the Dragon Shrine Maiden or Flute, her J-Resonator side, might be a little risky because you would like to draw cards, but it could also be a pretty good mid-game mechanic. And if you're playing Flute, remember you can swap her back and forth between her J-Ruler side and her non-J-Ruler side, so you can, trigger this and then not trigger it. So there's a whole lot of stuff you can do with Kaguya. I like this card a lot. I'm probably going to try to put this in one of my decks. This is the type of card that I really, really like. Like, it's got so much versatility, turns your graveyard into a resource, but also keep in mind that the Dark Alice that we saw just nukes people's graveyards, so if that becomes a thing, then that also might, be something to keep an eye out for. Next up, we have Charlotte, Last Hope of Ataraxia. Once again, she's a 2-drop. She costs 1 water, 1 of any. She's a 500/500 Resonator Wizard. It's kind of unique for all these dudes. They're all wanderers. Charlotte is a wizard. You're a wizard, Charlotte. She has a Will of Hope, and just straight up says you may pay 1 less to play chance. And this just screams combo card to me. There's not much else to say. There's got to be some combo somewhere, or this is going to make a combo at some point. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but just discounting all of your chance if you're like playing a chant heavy deck is pretty good. I can't think of a whole lot of expensive chants outside like Rising from the Depths, or I don't know. There's got to be something. Maybe some burn spells, or I don't know if you'd want to run this in a burn deck, but combo card potential for sure. And now we finally have Maribella, the True Shot. And so she's a 200/200 for 1 will of any, so 1 like Void Will, 1 will of any. She's a Resonator, Heroic Spirit. You can rest her to put a 100/100 counter on her. That's kind of cool. And then you can pay 2, rest her, and remove X 100/100 counters from this card. Search your deck for a Resonator with total cost X or less with no attribute, and put it into your field and shuffle your deck. So this is basically like some support for your Void type decks. She basically can tutor for a Resonator, but it'll take a little while to build up. Maybe if, Force of Will comes out with mechanics that let you add additional counters to cards that already have counters, or maybe just put counters on cards, this could be a pretty good thing. I have a feeling that if a Void deck becomes powerful or becomes a thing in the future, or people, if you're running Void decks already, maybe casual Void decks. I know there was a Machina March of the Machines deck that was pretty powerful, like, I don't know, like a while ago. Maybe this goes in it. I'm not entirely sure. I've never actually played in it, or played with that deck, but yeah, I like this card. 1 drops with pretty good potential. I really like, so yeah. Maribella, the True Shot has a thumbs up from me. Alright, so the next one's probably the weakest card of the bunch, and it's probably only because she just costs 5 to play. So we have Priscia, ready for the final battle. She's a 5 cost, 3 of any, 2 wind, 1000, 1000. She's a lot slower than her true Beastmaster ruler counterpart. She's a Resonator Beast. She has Will of Hope. When this card enters your field or whenever it attacks, destroy target Resonator your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to this card's attack. If you do, put 2 +100/+100 counters on this card. So that's pretty good. I mean, you get to maybe blow up a smaller dude when you play her, and if you actually get an attack with her, you can blow up another dude. That's pretty cool. Like, it's a good way to get some board advantage. I feel that this is going to be a very powerful limited card, but for constructed, I mean, 5's really asking a lot. I mean, it's kind of cool, like, to blink it. You can blow up multiple dudes by blinking. That's pretty cool. Anything else? I don't know, man. Like, it's got 5. It costs 5 will. That's so much. Maybe you'll see some play, but it's a beast, and I'm not sure. I like it, but I think it's actually the weakest of the bunch in terms of just playability in a constructed environment, I would have to say. But I could be wrong. I mean, I totally could be wrong. It could be really, really good. But 5 will, man. I'm going in circles now. 5 will. Too much. Anyway, let's move on. And the final card is Neo, Barrier of Shadows. So it is an addition for 1 darkness and 1 of any. And it says your opponent pays 1 more to play activate abilities of resonators they control. And then it has Seal 8. This card gains the following text as long as you control 8 or more magic stones. Your opponent can't play non-will activate abilities. And that just says your opponent can't play non-will activate abilities across the board. So that's like on their ruler, on their J ruler. That's a pretty good lockdown. But I mean, what's the chance you're gonna get Seal 8? And this is a darkness card. I know the Dark Alice will release the seal, but Man, A8 is a hard ask, and getting a specific resonator is kind of a hard ask. I mean, you can... What makes Flute good is because she's your ruler, and you could always have access to that. This is going to be a little bit more difficult to get, but if you do get it, it's incredibly powerful. Is it powerful enough to see play? Perhaps. I think if there's a lot of activate resonator type dudes going around, then this will be, you know, it will see play. It will see sideboard play for sure. If there isn't, then, you know, there isn't. I don't think this is good, or this is as good as the original Barrier of Shadows, you know, but I do think this could see some play eventually. Alright guys, so that is the final Echoes of the New World spoiler video. I am actually super excited for this set. There's a lot of powerful 2-drops. This format seems like it's going to be pretty fast. I mean, it's already fast, but it's like speeding up. There's a lot of aggressive type cards in here. I mean, they're not specifically aggressive, but they're aggressively costed and aggressively statted. Like, just Alice is a 500, 600 with flying for 2 with additional abilities. That's not too bad. There's a bunch of other cards as well. I'm actually really excited for this set. I've mentioned this before, but I think this is the best fourth set they've ever done for a cluster. Because before that we had Battle for Ataraxia, which was okay. I didn't really like the rulers. I like the rulers in this set a lot more. And then before that we had the disastrous Millennia of Ages. Yeah. So yeah, we shall see. I know a bunch of stuff has been spoiled already, and potentially the secret card I read it has, but I didn't actually see what it is. I'm gonna avoid that. I want to be surprised, and I've only been looking at the official spoilers, so, and maybe I'll crack it open and I'll get one and it'll be crazy. Anyway guys, I've already talked too much. Let's just end the video here. If you guys liked the video, then maybe leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that shit. It really helps, and I really appreciate it, and words are hard. I mean, I honestly do. So, thank you very much, regardless, just straight up for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time for some more Forcible content. Have a good one all, and I will see you later.